Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. I'm going to talk about this book today that I read again, and I'm talking about Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This one I read few years back, but that time I read it as a reader. This time I wanted to understand that how Fyodor Dostoevsky was able to write such a brilliant novel. So let's get started with the story. This is a story of a young boy whose name is Raskolnikov, and he has quit his education because he does not have enough funds to support his education. His mother sends him some money from her pension, but that pension is not enough for her own self. And he receives letters from his mother. He loves receiving those letters, but those letters remind him of how bad the situation is, how in a deep state of poverty they are in, and how he is not able to help his family in any way. And now he has also quit his education. So what author has done here is to show you that what situation he is in, to create a base for what the story, how the story is going to progress further. He's living in this small lodge, which is gloomy. No sunlight enters, I mean sunlight rarely enters that place. And now that Raskolnikov has quit his education, he is living mostly in that place, in that dark pitch place, and it has made him also very gloomy. And those letters make him even more depressive. He is in so much of misery that he has become depressive. He is depressed, and he is also that kind of person who believes that that if you want to do something great, you have to overstep the law. And he has given examples of Napoleon and Alexander the Great. He has quoted them and said that if they stopped in their journey and thought about these things, they are worried about these trivial issues. He calls these trivial issues. He says that if they had stopped in their journey and worried about these things, they would not have done the great things that they had done. And this thing he applies to himself also. He says that he is also meant to do great things, and for that an idea comes to his mind that what if he kills this pawnbroker lady, who is an old lady. She is wealthy, she has a lot of money, that if he kills that lady and distributes her money to the poor equally, then he will still be left with a significant amount that he can donate to church in her name. And he tells himself that this will be a great deed, this will be a good deed, because he is doing a favor on the society, because that lady exploits the poor people. She lives off the misery of these poor people, and she anyway is going to die in few years. Why not now? And he convinces himself, and he is constantly pulled in opposite direction. Like one time he wants to not think about it, and he wants to just you know not do it. And then there is another thought where he convinces himself that he is meant to do it, because this is the only way that he will be able to know that if he is one of those people or not. And he is constantly convincing himself and going out of the thought that he should not be doing it. We see that he is getting tormented by that thought, but anyway he decides to kill that lady, and he murders her. While murdering, while he went to her place and killed her, before that he also thought about a lot of things. Like, this is a psychological analysis of this character, and we see that what he is thinking about that when does actually, if it is like when the wit and the reasoning leaves the side of the person, that he starts thinking about committing this crime, or is it that when he has committed the crime, the wits and the reasoning leave the side of the person, and that's when they get caught. And he is thinking about these things, and he says to himself that we will get to know when I commit the crime, so let's just do it. A lot of things he is able to plan out, very important things like what should be the weapon, how he should conceal it. And then there are other important details, little important details that he is missing out on, like uh, uh, where will he get the axe from, and he thought that he will take the axe from the kitchen before the maid comes in, and he will do the crime and he will put it back in the kitchen. But he never thought about what if the maid was already there, and that's what happens. And in that moment also he starts thinking that whether I should be doing it or not, and then the devilish thought comes in his mind again to, I should be doing it, because he found an axe in a shop and there was no way that the shopkeeper would come to know that the axe is missing. So he commits the crime. The moment he murders that lady, his life has changed. He becomes feverish. He's not able to distinguish between the right and the wrong things. He thought about taking the money. He actually visited the place a few days before to see what the arrangement is like in her house. But at that time, he was not able to think properly. Like, he started thinking how he should take, where he should be taking money, what he should be taking or not, and his heart was throbbing. He wanted to control himself, but it was out of control. And then he saw that there is Elizabeth, who is younger stepsister of this old lady. She was standing there, she was looking at the dead body, and then he was left with no other choice than to kill her also. And then here also you see this detail that the author has written, that when you are about to kill a person, what that person does is that they try to save themselves. They try to stop that person by maybe lifting their hands and putting in front of that person. But here Elizabeth, she was so tormented by this old lady, she was beaten regularly, that she was timid, and she did not lift her hand. She was just looking, she was just staring at Raskolnikov when he killed her, and stayed with Raskolnikov. That her face, her eyes staring at him, it stayed with him. So that also contributed in some way that how feverish he became after the murder, and he never recovered from that fever. He became delirious. He was not able to think properly, yet he was able to think that there might be evidences on him and he has to take care of the things that he has taken from there, and a lot of things. So we see that how helpless he has become, but yet he is trying to control his life. He is trying to come back in his senses, to reason a lot of things and to hide the things that he has taken from that lady's place. He was also in that situation where he was about to get caught, but he escaped that scene narrowly. I mean, he would have gotten caught if it was not his luck, if his luck was not in his favor. And that also contributed to his feverish state that he is in now, and he is just delusional. He is not able to think properly. He speaks all the time to himself, and those thoughts where he wants to confess to the police because he is not able to take it anymore, what he has done, what the thoughts are coming in his mind, and he is thinking about if he has left any evidence or not. If the police is about to come to his house to search his house, they will be able to find it, where he should be hiding all those things that he has taken from the lady's house. He's thinking about all those things, and he is so tired in his mind that he wants to give up. But then there comes another thought, that let's see if they will be able to catch me or not, or if I can just bluff them in some way. And that's happening throughout the story. There are conversation between people. Like, it's not just Raskolnikov who is whose psychological analysis this is. There are other characters also in the story. There is Marmeladov, whom Raskolnikov met in a tavern and who died in front of Raskolnikov. That also made him lose something in his mind. Like, he really wanted to help Marmeladov in his situation because he has four kids. They are Katrina Evnova's kid, whom he married. Katrina has gone crazy. She has a lung disease and she might die. There are children who do not have anything to wear. They wear the same clothes every day, and anything wrong happens, they just hug each other and start crying. And then there is Polenka, the third child, who tries to comfort them from a distance when she herself is crying. So you see that he is actually showing you what's happening in the story, and that moves you, that makes you feel for this whole family. And that's what Raskolnikov is feeling for that family. He wants to help them, but he's not able to help himself. He wants to help Sonia, the real daughter of Mavlatov, who has gone into prostitution to feed these children, because there is no other way that she can do anything for this family. He wants to help Sonia by doing something for her. He's not able to. He wants to help his own family, his own sister, who is ready to get married to this person who is 40 years old, who does not respect women, and he just wants to marry Raskolnikov's sister just for that status. And Raskolnikov sees through it, but he's not able to convince his sister to not marry that guy. And he wants to help all these people, but he is so tired of everything that he wants to give up. But then, there is another thought in him that he will not be giving up. There is conversation between Sonia and Raskolnikov where he confesses what he has done. He confesses the murder to her, and he actually tells her that, I have done it for my own self, because I wanted to see if I am able of doing these things or not, and now I have realized that I am not that person. And he also talks about that the things that he has taken from the things that he has taken from the old lady's house. He has not thought about it once. He does not know what he has taken. He does not know what they are worth of. So it's not about that money. It's not about those things that she had there and he has stolen from there. It's about himself. He wanted to see if he is capable of doing these things or not, and now he just wants to get rid of all these things. And Sonia tells him that you should go and confess to the police, to which he says that he's not going to do that, and he realizes that he's capable of hating Sonia also. And he is just, this confusion in his mind is so evident in the writing that you feel the pain that he is going through. He has not been able to talk about it, talk about the murder and what he has been going through to anyone. And Sonia tells him that he is the loneliest and the most unhappy person right now on the earth, and this is the only way that he can help himself, that he can bring himself out of this situation. There is another conversation between the police, that person who is investigating the case, and Raskolnikov, where he drives the conversation in such a way that it took a complete 180-degree turn. So he starts with like, I am so sorry, Raskolnikov, that I accused you of the murder, and I want to apologize for how I treated you, but there were rumors and all of those things. And then by the end of it, he actually tells him that you are going to get arrested, so you should just surrender, because you have your whole life in front of me, in front of you, and I have lived my life, so I will try to help you, because I know you are a young blood and what your thinking is, and I know where that is coming from, but I want to help you, and I can help you if you surrender. That was also a psychological analysis of both these characters, what they are doing. In fact, the police who was investigating, he did not have any evidence against Raskolnikov. It was just his knowledge of psychology with which he concluded that it's actually Raskolnikov who is the murderer. So these are one of the few things, one of the few conversations that I liked from the book, but there are so many more moments happening in the book that will make you extremely sad, that will make you cry about the situations of these characters, especially Katrina and her children, and Sonia and Raskolnikov. I mean, they moved me a lot, and also Mavlatovs. So I highly recommend reading this one, because it's not just a brilliant story, but it's also a brilliant piece of writing, because it's just something that will make you feel what these characters are going through, how tormented they are in their mind, and how they want to escape what's happening in their life and want to do something better with it, but they are failing at every step. So this is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I also made a video a few months back where I talked about that if you have not read any of his work, how you can get started with it. I will link that video somewhere in the description video or on the screen. If you want to check that out, you can go and see that video. And yeah, that was Crime and Punishment. I also annotated this one, you can see. So it's one of my favorite books. I absolutely loved it, and also one of my favorites from him, from Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you have read this book, do let me know what are your thoughts about it. And yeah, that was the video. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.